Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Good morning. Good day.
Yes, good morning, good day, and good evening, depending on where you are on the globe. And so we're going to give it a few moments while we wait for some people to join us. Louise Jones is in the house. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Louise. Great to see you. I'm glad you could make it, and hopefully we'll get many other people too.
Yeah, last night, it was an interesting night, but most nights have been interesting lately, and I know a lot of other people are going through the same thing where sleep is not what it used to be.
No.
I was reading comments yesterday, and people were talking about how they can't sleep at all anymore. They just grab a little bit here and there. And then other people are sleeping literally 12 hours plus a day and taking naps too.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a pretty rough 4 days I think I had, and you need the sleep, but your brain's just not going to stop. It's not going to let you.
Yeah, that's what we have going on right now. So last night, something was up. Cindy and I could feel it. We felt like what felt like an energy wave going on. And I was wondering, what is this? We let Zeke out, and, it just felt weird. But I didn't feel like there was anything locally that was going on, but I felt like a blast. To me, it felt like a blast and a shock wave, and I was wondering if there was like anything. I was tempted to just go check the news, even though it was probably about 4 a.m. Local time here, and just see if something happened, because it felt like it was far away. Remember I told you it felt like it was something far away?
Yeah, and Paula says, Dutch said no tsunami. Well, we saw a video where there was, so I don't know.
Yeah, we'll show you some video off of Twitter that does show there was a tsunami that came in. So, this is a big one, and as you see here, 7.0, a GNC earthquake, topples buildings in Turkey, at least 6 dead, tsunami floods streets. So, yeah, and you do get some pretty big ones, like Cindy said, Greece gets earthquakes, right? And oh, yeah, they do. Greece and Turkey does. You can see right here the plate, the boundaries right here. And I remember seeing big ones that did a lot of damage and took a lot of people's lives, unfortunately, just of like 6, magnitude 6, not 7. 7's big. They can happen here. They do happen here. It's just you don't see it all the time. If you see it in the Pacific Rim, around the Ring of Fire, it's understandable. See a 7.0 over here, and oh crap, there's definitely a loss of life.
Which is really, really sad. I just kept looking at this and saying, oh my gosh, those poor people, because they're going around looking in this rubble for, who knows, loved ones, pets, any survivors, and, taking video, and you could hear people screaming and hollering. I mean, it was just horrible.
Yeah, and so if we take a look right now, we can see there's been a couple aftershocks. So we have a 5.2, and then we also have a 4.9. That's at 10 kilometers and 10 kilometers depth. The original 7.0 is at 21 kilometers depth. Obviously, well, for anybody that's ever seen some photos or ever been in this whole area, a lot of natural beauty, but also a lot of very, very old buildings.
Yes, and that's the heartbreaker. Well, I mean, especially the children and people being hurt, but all that art. I mean, it's so beautiful and historic over there.
So good to see you guys. We got Mary Moeller in the house, Kim Rizzo, Pete V, Energies 1111, Gary Hines, Awaken and Aware. So Awaken and Aware woke up at right before 3:30. Good morning, Mark, over in Castle Rock. Sweetgrass, good to see you too. You had received a positive test, just getting back to feel yourself. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy out there. The energies are crazy. I knew something was up last night. I felt, like I said, a shockwave is what it felt to me. So when we look at some of these, and let's get to some of these feeds that are coming out.
I mean, such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place with beautiful people.
One of the things that hits me too is, if you guys have been following the political sides of things, there's been an awful lot of tension between Greece and Turkey. This has been one of those flare points where we could end up getting, the next big war started. And it's interesting to see this at that location. I've talked about this before, where it seems like a lot of times when there's strife and war and a lot of negative energies, we get these disasters. And then we could go biblical with it and look at just the series of disasters that hits in the Bible. When we're talking Kings and Chronicles, every time the people stray away from God is the biblical way of looking at it. You can look at it also karmically and say, negative karma builds, negative energy builds. And with all the tension in the world right now, this is why it's so critical for us to, get a hold of our emotions and try to change the energy that's going on in the world right now, as we are probably coming to some sort of major head come Tuesday as far as this country goes.
So I'm just looking at this, both Turkey and Greece. What were the time differences between the two?
As far as, they're right.
Quake happened in one and then the other.
Well, it's right there. So, this is right at the border. So if you look at it,
I see. Okay.
It's right at the border. It actually, and this is another thing, because this is actually, these islands down in here are some of the islands that they've been having a dispute about, with, basically getting the gas reserves and the natural resources. There was tension about these islands too, and they were doing military show of force. It's just curious, that this is where we have a huge quake too. Consciousness. It's all about consciousness.
Yeah, and that's something they don't teach us. They teach us that, everything inside of you is only inside of you, and it's not external. But we need to start realizing that our energy changes things outside of us. We can make these energy waves when we're negative or deceitful or anything. It causes an energy wave to go out into the universe, and then there's going to be a reaction.
So I see some people talking about a mic check, but this is what happens when we go live, and they tend to hit us in one way or shape. They either buffer or they play with the sound. So unfortunately, there's nothing we could do about it other than have somebody donate a new computer and mic every day we go live, because that's what's going to happen.
Sorry guys, it's just one of those things. We're really sorry, but thanks.
Yeah, so let's not get distracted by the annoying mic echo, and let's actually, send prayers and love to these people that have, been hit with a major, major tragedy.
I know, let's send these people a lot of healing energy. Colors green, electric purple to wash out the negative emotions and negative energies, and green for the healing, please.
So this one, you can see.
That's like a scene off of a movie, and then you watch this car pull out, just kind of barely getting away from it. That's insane.
Yeah, I think obviously, unless this is a time when everybody is at work, which again, now we have lockdowns and stuff going on, and going up to a much higher degree, you're going to have the death toll rising, most definitely, with what we have going on here. Unfortunately. Very, very sad scenes that we're seeing.
Yes, and somebody says we have to watch our vocabulary words here, but somebody said do you think it could have been a tsunami?
Yeah, B.
Yeah, B.
You never know. I mean, this is an area that is prone. It is prone for quakes. Again, a 7.0. I think it's been a while. I'd have to do a little bit more research on the history. I do not remember seeing one in the past 5 years or so. But again, we know anything could be triggered too, and this has been an area of definite tension. Mm-hmm. And here we see that there was, as you can see, the water going down the street. And that looks to be about 4 or 5 feet deep at least. It's covering most of the first floor and just washing all this stuff down and back towards the ocean.
Those poor people. It's so sad.
And this is an area that's, it's so much of it's just islands. Greece is islands. As we're going back to this, you could see now it's close to the mainland, but where this struck here, it's just off the shore of the mainland, and there are so many islands. You could just see this is just island after island after island. The Aegean Sea, the Sea of Crete over here, and then of course we have the Mediterranean. Again, an ancient, beautiful area. I mean, people have been living here as long as we have known historically.
Right. I mean, it's a very full of history, full of ancient beauty and different times in our lives where, things have, man has, what do you say? The word, a lot of growth and a lot of history is gone now. That's sad.
Yeah, it is. And one thing I'll take from this too is you see here, Greece offers condolences and assistance to Turkey after the quake. That's beautiful. That's good because they've been at each other's throats. They've been ready to pull the trigger and start a conflict, over their disagreements. For one, there was a lot of refugees that Turkey opened up the gates and let flood into Greece, and then Greece didn't like that. There's been a lot of things going on. As we said, the mining of resources over in that area as well. So it's good to see that. And sometimes it takes tragedy to snap people out of it,
Yeah, you always got to look for the beauty in things. And this is where, compassion overrides everything.
When you have buildings down like this, we won't know for a long time, the real numbers that's going on.
No, we won't, unfortunately. And, but what I do see here is I see a lot of miracle rescues.
Well, that will definitely be welcome. And as we see there, the 7.0 and the location. And you can see the dog howling and trying to dig.
Mm-hmm. I know. I mean, gosh, they're such good creatures.
Yeah. They're family. And, we have Zeke and Sassy with us. And Zeke was up last night, too. It's like something was going on. You could tell. So again, to recap, over here we see a 7.0. It's 21 kilometers deep. There was a tsunami that followed. And this is right basically on the border of Greece and Turkey. And it has caused damage in both countries. And while we're here, we could see there's a small quake up here in Romania, 4.4. We'll take a look at what else is going on out there. As we see a lot of fives, it looks to be 5.3 in Fiji, 5.3. These are deep quakes. One place that has been more active lately has been Hawaii as well. And we see we have 22 quakes there right now. There's been questions about whether Kilauea will start up again. There's been a lot of activity over in Oklahoma today, a little bit less so. And of course, that's a fracking capital. There's been some pretty decent sized ones over by El Paso as well. And right now in the New Madrid, we just have one over here in Arkansas, 2.1, 12 kilometers east-southeast of Mammoth Springs. We still do have quite a bit of activity going on around Ridgecrest. Seems to have picked up a little bit, about 60 quakes in this area. And up around Tonopah, where we had that large one, gosh, how long ago was that? About 7 or 8 months ago we had that big one. You got 23 there still. And we do still have some swarming. We've had swarming up here northeast of Boise ever since the quake up there. That was larger. That was going on a full year ago. So this was a big one. This was definitely a big one. As you see the 7.0 here in Greece. So this quake hit in the Aegean Sea between the Turkish coast and the Greek island of Samos, collapsing buildings in the city of Izmir in western Turkey, and officials said at least 6 people were killed, scores were injured. Those numbers will change, rapidly. A small tsunami struck the Sefer-Isser district of Imzir as well. At least 4 people were slightly injured on Samos, where a tsunami warning was issued as well. And 6 people were killed in Imzir, Turkey's 3rd largest city, including one who drowned. So the tsunami, obviously did claim at least 1 life there. 202 injured. And again, these numbers are going to really, really change. So Izmir governor said that at least 70 people had been rescued from wreckage. He said 4 buildings were destroyed and more than 10 collapsed, while others were also damaged. Search and rescue efforts will definitely be continuing in at least 12 buildings. Turkish media showed wreckage of a multiple-story building with people climbing it to start rescue efforts, and smoke rose from several spots. As we've seen a lot of videos on Twitter showing the damage as well. Turkey's Disaster and Emergency Management Presidency said the earthquake was centered in the Aegean at a depth of 16.5 kilometers. Now, they said it registered as a 6.6. The USGS is showing a 7.0. European Mediterranean Seismological Center said the quake had a preliminary magnitude of 6.9, with an epicenter 13 kilometers or 8 miles northeast of the Greek island of Samos. The USGS put it at 7.0. Interesting, USGS has got the highest rating. That's usually not really the case.
I know. I mean, usually they downgrade stuff all the time.
So the Environment and Urban Planning Minister, Murat Kurum, said people were trapped under the wreckage and rescue efforts were underway. Greek seismologists told Greek state broadcaster ERT that the quake was believed to be the main earthquake, but that due to the shallow depth of its epicenter, roughly 10 kilometers, potentially powerful aftershocks could be expected for several weeks or even a month to come. He said residents of the affected areas must be careful not to enter buildings that might have been damaged in the initial quake, as they could collapse in another aftershock. So that's always another possibility as well. And the quake was felt across the eastern Greek islands and as far as the Greek capital Athens, and also in Bulgaria. In Turkey, it was also felt across the regions of the Aegean and Marmara, including Istanbul. Istanbul's governor said there were no reports of damage in the city, and that's Turkey's largest city and has quite a long history. It used to be Constantinople back in the day. And the Greek island of Samos, damage was reported in buildings and road network, while tsunami warning was issued with residents to stay away from the coast. Water rose above the dock in the main harbor of Samos and flooded the streets, and residents have also been told to stay away from buildings, so aftershocks are still a strong possibility. Yeah, this is a big one, guys. This was a big one.
And as we kind of read through this and watch through this, energetically, I'm picking up more and more of an artificial interference.
Are you?
I am, yeah.
Interesting, yeah. It again, with the technology that's out there, for sure, it's a possibility. We talked about Tesla and what happened with his machine back in New York City over 120-something years ago. So if that was out there then, and what could be there now again?
Right, and I don't know. It's just. We may never know. It's just something that I'm sensing, and I think other people sense it too. We just don't know. So I guess our energy is best spent sending these people good energy.
Yes, let's definitely send them love and healing, as well as it's going to be greatly needed in that area. And we'll keep our eyes open for more to come as well. And we got like 2 sips of our coffee so far. So we will be definitely doing more videos later on today, and maybe coming back on live. It feels like things are, we're getting so close to some. This is a major event. This is a big event, and again, I find it very interesting, the location, and I see people are in the chat room talking about God and warnings. And whether we view it as God, the Father, whether we view it as Mother Earth, because, look at what's been going on to the Earth and everything living in it. And there's a video I'm going to try to put together. We'll see if we could get it up today, that looks at things in an interesting light. And it was inspired by a channel that has been completely ostracized. I mean, they used to get hundreds of thousands of views, and now their videos get about, a couple hundred views. And again, it's because they were on the right track with things. So whether we want to use language like God the Father or Mother Earth or karma, cause and effect, that's up to each individual. But the bottom line is, it's really all about, changing the consciousness of this planet one heart at a time. One heart at a time. That's what we need to do. In Turkey and Greece, like Justin says, Turkey, Greece. Turkey and Greece, as we said, there was conflict there over the refugees flooding in. There was conflict there over Turkey going to start to try to get the natural gas resources off of some of these islands, which are very, very rich in natural resources. And there's thousands of islands there. There might even be tens of thousands of islands there. And, one might be under Greek control, one might be under Turkey's control. And obviously with Turkey, some people might be thinking that they're creating some negative karma for sure, because they're in Syria right now, they're in Libya right now, they're also in that middle of that dispute in Armenia and Azerbaijan. And so, that's the bottom line is, we have to cultivate peace and love. As Alan says, bottom line, we need to bring everyone to Jesus. And I would say we need to bring everyone to the way of Jesus, the way of love, the way of peace, the way of compassion. So, that's going to be something that has to be cultivated, because right now we're going to be on a roller coaster ride, and chances are there's going to be a lot more negative energy put out there, for instance, with the United States, with the election, because no matter what happens, whether there is an election, whether there isn't an election, no matter which side appears to win, and whether that gets reversed a day or two later, there's going to be unhappy people. And so it's going to cause more of this negative energy to go out into the world. So we have to basically work against that negative current of energy and try to get people to, cultivate the peace and the love within.
Yes, and try to refrain from any divisiveness. Everybody has a different belief system, and that's okay, as long as it brings you to love and unity. There's many different paths, many different paths, and they're all welcome.
Yeah, most definitely. Last night we went to bed relatively early, but was reading the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, as well as some other classics. And ultimately, everything is mind. We know consciousness is the most real thing there is. And so this is a temporary existence in this 3D world, but it doesn't mean when people leave their bodies that they're gone forever. Quite the opposite. It's almost perhaps more like waking up to the more real reality that's out there. As Christine says, keep your vibrations high and have no fear.
Thank you, Miss Christine. Absolutely.
So guys, I want to thank you for joining us right now. We will probably try to come back maybe with another live later on today. Definitely there's some videos that we are putting together right now to share with you guys. It's getting to be real go time right now. Getting to be go time. So as always, thank you for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.